Thank you for tuning in to Exposure TV. I'm your host, Dvdj Rain, and we'll be right back with my guest, Theca Jones. Welcome back to Exposure TV. I'm your host, Dvdj Rain, and I'm sitting here with my guest, Theca Jones. Theca, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. It's been a minute.
I know. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Anytime, anytime.
But before we get into like everything that you have going on, let's kind of figure out who you are. Kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name's Theca Jones. Been doing music pretty much my whole life since about 8 years old, but I really just started performing and rapping since I was about 19. Started around 2005, and just been working on my craft and trying to hone my skills, and 2 mixtapes later, here I go.
So what kind of really got you like motivated just to become an artist? I mean, was it what influenced you in your life, like to make that jump to go from regular person to artist?
Well, it's something I always wanted to do. It's kind of like since I was a kid, I always like to be involved in stage productions or anything really with entertainment. I know a lot of people say now that a lot of people want to rap or sing or just want to do something just because it's the it thing to do. But I've been involved in doing entertainment since I was a kid. It was something that I always felt like I was built to do. It kind of felt like it was my purpose. Like I want to entertain people. I like seeing people entertained, and it's just something I always wanted to do.
So what other forms of entertainment have you done, like in the past?
A couple of plays, with school and everything. I've wrote a couple of productions, little small things like that. I'm starting a podcast. That's going to come out probably around middle of the summer. And just anything really like that. I do cinematography as well, and I just film my own videos, and anything that's artistic and entertaining, I like being involved in.
Now, do you find time to sleep during all that?
I mean, hardly, man. I get a little bit here and there, but if I'm not sleeping, I'm doing something.
Yeah. So what can you say? Who influenced you the most, like as far as like your music career, and why?
A lot of people, I would say, as far as hip hop goes. When I was growing up, I wasn't really the biggest Southern hip hop fan, and that really kind of took me down a different path. Like I was a really big Wu-Tang fan, so like ODB, like Ghostface Killer, like those were the guys I really looked up to. Like when kids my age were like listening to like No Limit, and like P and Silk Shocker and like Mystical, I was listening to like Daytona 500 and Only Built for Cuban Links, Raekwon and Ghostface and Method Man and stuff like that. So, I mean, they really kind of put an influence on my style, more of a storytelling style, or more of a, I would say more of a storytelling style. Yeah.
So, all right. So, taking that in consideration, how would you describe your sound?
My sound, it's really synth-driven sound. I used to use a lot of samples. I still do, and I still like it, but I just like using a mixture of different things, Like, I don't like being limited to one kind of category, like, oh, he does Southern music. Well, he does Southern rap, or, oh, he does East Coast rap, or, oh, he does pop rap. I like what I like, and I know what I like. And when I like it, I want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you started out with a different name when you started on the music industry, and then it changed to Theca. The original was Theca Jones. How did that transition from Casey to Theca come about, and why?
Yeah, Casey, I mean, I still go by it from people I know because I've been using it for so long. And I had came up with it, me and one of my partners who I rap with named Cut Son. Shout out to Cut Son. And we were brainstorming one day, and he kind of said, you don't have a name yet, like a stage name. And I was like, I don't. So, I was thinking. Then one of my favorite cartoons I used to like being a kid was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And my favorite character was Casey Jones, the guy with the hockey mask and the bag full of like bats and hockey sticks and stuff like that. So, and a lot of people, well, a common misconception a lot of people have because I'm from Mississippi, they say, oh, Casey Jones, like the train conductor. And it's like, nah, I really got it from the cartoon, or like Casey Jones, the Grateful Dead song. I got it from the cartoon. But after a while, I kind of wanted something with a little bit more, something that was a little bit more unique. And I mean, Casey Jones, yeah, I go by a lot of names. Casey Jones, CJ Maxx.
CJ Maxx.
CJ Maxx, man.
What is CJ Maxx?
I'm doing a couple of bounce songs, like New Orleans bounce songs. So like CJ Maxx, that's my bounce artist name.
I got you.
But yeah, CJ Maxx.
I hope you don't get like everybody confused.
No, I'm not.
When you start talking to somebody, just don't get yourself confused.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many I go by, but Theca is actually Theca, and it's actually Theca, but a lot of people saying, "Oh, is this Theca?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's Theca," but Theca is actually Latin for case. So I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, KC, case, Theca Jones, boom, there you go."
So, because I know you used that a lot on Twitter for a while, and then then I saw you that was it. That's all you used, and that's what you were going by.
Yeah. Like I wanted to have something unique, and I know something else nobody would have. So, Theca, boom, we just touched it on, and I was kind of, something I noticed where the best MCs and the best rappers, they kind of had two names. So I was like, well, I want two names too, and Theca Jones is something that stands out.
Don't give in to peer pressure, man. Just don't. Just say no to So tell me about CJ Maxx though. Like where did that come from? Because that's completely different.
Yeah, I got it's a play off of TJ Maxx, like the store. And I got a couple friends, they're from New Orleans, and they were like, have you ever heard New Orleans bounce? And I've kind of like heard it, coming and going into different clubs and stuff, and they play, a couple of songs, but she really introduced me to it, and I'm like, man, I really like, the music. So I got together with my DJ VSOP. He's a resident DJ at Nightlife. And I kind of said, I want to do a bounce song. So he was like, cool. He found a couple instrumentals. We made something together, and we've been working on it. And we're going to release it pretty soon, a couple videos that I'm producing myself. And, yeah, it's going to be something really, really unique and really different for this market and this landscape.
And now that you talk about bounce, from some of the other cities I've been to outside of the state, like a lot of people are, they're doing the bounce like lay behind the track, like an old school bounce sound.
Yeah.
So that popularity in those type of tracks is increasing a lot. That I noticed. Even down in Panama City, a guy had showed me a guy from Miami. He had done some work on his computer, and he had turned the song into a bounce track.
Yeah.
And like this guy's like all the way in Miami.
Yeah, and it's just something that has a lot of energy. It makes people want to dance, and I like that.
So when it comes to your music, the influences as far as like lyrical content, like where do you find your inspiration for your music?
Like I said before, like I was mostly out of the Wu-Tang, Ghostface Killah was my favorite. Ghostface Killah and Method Man were my favorite two artists. And like Ghostface was really on the whole storytelling, hey, I'm really descriptive, this, that, and the other is happening. So what I did was, since I grew up with it, that's how I write. So
Hold that thought one moment, we'll run out of time, but we're going to be right back and finish that story out. Make sure you tune back in. We'll be right back with Theca Jones.
Deftel DJs.
Deftel DJs.
For more inquiries about Theca Jones recording artists, contact James Ridgely 601-278-4488 or email wewantcasey@gmail.com.
So I couldn't just get no satisfaction, but now I'm out here with my team, baby girl, gonna do your thing and just sing.
Xposure TV is sponsored and produced by Peaches of On Location TV. Exposure TV, Tuesdays 6 p.m. and Saturdays 6:30 a.m. on Comcast Cable, Channel 18, Ped Network.
Welcome back to Xposure TV. I'm your host, Dvdj Rain. We were talking about the musical influences in your music, where they came from. So finish telling us about that.
Yeah, since I grew up on Wu-Tang, Ghostface Killer, he was my favorite artist out of the group. He had the kind of storytelling, very, very descriptive rap style, and it's something that I picked up on and I use a lot of multi-syllable rhymes and stuff like that. And it's just something like, it's kind of like painting pictures with words. And I kind of take pride in myself in being able to do that efficiently.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much me. You know, like I can put you in the moment.
So, where do you say you find most of your inspiration for your music?
Just where I'm from. Being from Jackson, the west side of Jackson. I mean, you see a lot of things. You experience a lot of things, and I mean, you grow up remembering those things or those experiences, and they really make you who you are.
Right.
And being from Jackson, where I kind of feel like, hey, if you're from Jackson, you can make it anywhere if you make it in Jackson. I mean, I take a lot of those experiences, a lot of stories people have told me, a lot of experiences I know other people to go through, and I just really bottle it all up into one, and I just release it there.
Now, you know, with us being in the same industry, I know, you know, the industry has its ups and downs at times, and how do you find an effective way to deal with those down times when you know, because we all have those moments where like that goal just kind of seems like that far away.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
See, I saw the look on your face.
Yeah,
Just like
man.
mine. Like, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's because I've been seriously, I would say seriously working on music since about 2006 and 2012 now. And I mean, you know, a lot of people see that one hit wonder, or they see that, you know, person like, oh man, they just came up and, you know, and it happened for them. And I mean, it does happen, but I mean, people win the lotto too. I mean, you know, you have to put in work, you have to put in the time to it. Like nothing worth anything is made overnight. And I mean, it's easy to say that, but when it's like, it's been a couple of months and, you know, your buzz dying down and you just can't come up with a good song or anything, you know, you start saying, hey, can I really do this? And I mean, everybody, you know how people kind of say, I've never had self-doubt. Well, I mean, I've had self-doubt before. And I mean, it is kind of what it is, you know, especially when you're going through something and it's like, man, nothing is working right now. But I mean, eventually it will work. Eventually it does work. And I mean, you just gotta stick through it.
You know, I was down in Panama City with a buddy of mine that is a resident over at La Villa, and we were talking, and you know, he gets to be around like some of like the big stars being at the venue he's at, and we were talking about like our future and our careers and stuff, and he said, you know, one of the most profound things that someone has told him was, you know, you're not in a race to the finish line. All you're doing is you're trying to be relevant, stay relevant in the industry, and it's not a race to the finish line. You have to maintain. So everything we do is kind of like help maintaining this until that moment when everything takes off.
Yeah.
You know. So you have Wu-Tang Clan, all that is your musical influences. What are you listening to now?
Right now, I listen to a lot of music, and I know when people like kind of say that, you know, they say, oh, I listen to a lot of music, and like they name like a top 40 song or something. But when I say I listen to a lot of music, like I listen to a lot of different music. Like a lot of my friends don't like riding with me if we ride a long place because it's like I don't know what this guy's gonna play. But, yeah, but I'm listening to a lot of James Pants. He's a really good artist. I think he's from California. I'm not completely sure, but really, really, really good artist. A lot of James Pants, and that's not even hip hop. On the hip hop side, I would say I'm listening to a lot of. I like Starlito, Don Tripp, 2 guys from Memphis. Pretty good, pretty good. Let me see. I listen to a lot of older stuff, like as far as hip hop goes. Like not to say I don't like any of the new stuff, but like I've been listening to a lot of Black on Both Sides, Mos Def, his first album. I mean,
so you kind of like going back to the building blocks.
Yeah, like when Mos was like really hungry, and it was before the acting and everything like that, and it was just like you can just hear it, like man, like he really wants it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing I do. You know, you always kind of notice. Maybe not with everyone, but with a lot of people, like when you start to hear like the first 2 albums that maybe like blew up, those are like the real ones that you can tell like that artist put heart and soul into. Yeah. I mean, you can really feel that person like where they're at in that time in their life without all the money and the cameras and all that kind of stuff.
And then by like the 5th album, it's like, oh well.
Yeah, like we got to get this in Walmart. We got to get this in Best Buy and everything. So yeah. Now tell me about the mixtapes that you have.
All right, mixtape I have. Second one I just released is called What They Like, and it's a compilation of a bunch of different songs I have. It's about a 12-track mixtape. The first one I had was BTA, About Time, and it was really like a coming out, like, hey, finally here, got a lot of stuff together. Because the previous group I was in called KPC with Cut Some and a guy named Po Folk, we kind of were working to a tape, but it just never came together. And it was kind of like, hey, it was 2 years in the making, and we had what I personally think a lot of great music. Is just we could never get a tape together. So I didn't break off from them exactly, but I'm just doing my own thing right now, and released BTA, released What They Like about a year later from that. Right now I'm working on something called Good Science. That's my next mixtape, and I plan on dropping it this summer. I already recorded about 3 tracks for it. It's going to be about a 16 song mixtape. A lot of different features. I have Smoke. You know Smoke. A girl who has very, 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 very good talent. She's a singer. Her name is Cheryl Key. Cheryl Miss Songbird Key. Please remember that name.
I know the name. I know the name.
Please remember it. She's singing on a song I have called The Best. It's a radio song I've been pushing lately. A lot of different features. Cut Some, Q, Mr. 17th Letter, he's going to be on it. A lot of people who I work, that I know, that are very talented, that I love working with, because I love when I can get into the studio or even just brainstorm with really talented people. Yeah.
Now, one thing I didn't know about is that group. Like, tell me about how did that come about? Like, all the time I've known you, I've never known about that group.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you about it. I'll never forget it. It was August 2005 when Katrina hit. That was August, September, and cause we've been friends for years. He was coming over my house. Katrina, if you remember, it was no one had power. We had power, so he used to come over. We used to chill, whatever, and we'll be writing on whatever, right, and we'll say to ourselves, well, I can write, you can write, let's start a group. So we started a group, and we wanted a third member. Cut knew Po Folk, and brought him into the fold, and we would just go over Po Folk house and just write. And we had a song called Wild and Out, like a party type song that, we performed it like 30, 40 different places. And it was a really cool, really good song. And after that, we were like, man, let's make a tape. We started recording with Drummer from Trackstar Studios. And we've been recording with Drummer since 06. So that's how I know Drummer.
Nice.
So yeah, and I mean we would record, and people were really feeling it, like people we knew, because Pofo, he's from Brandon, so people in Brandon would like it. I was in Jackson, and people there would like it, and I mean it was just something we really enjoyed doing. Yeah.
Let me stop you right there. We're running out of time again. We got so much to talk about.
Yeah, man.
But we're going to be right back. Make sure you tune back in. We'll be right back with Theca Jones.
For more inquiries about Theca Jones recording artists, contact James Ridgely, 601-278-4488, or email wewantcasey@gmail.com.
So I couldn't just get no satisfaction.
Violator All-Star DJs.
Xposure TV is sponsored and produced by Peaches of On Location TV.
Welcome back to Xposure TV. I'm your host, Dvdj Rain. And if you're just tuning in, my guest today is Theca Jones. Theca,
Right.
welcome back. We were talking earlier about the mixtape, but let's get on to something that's kind of important to me too, because I've done a lot with it. But the charities that you're involved in.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of those.
Well, last year, what I did was I started a annual basketball game we have called Ball for a Cause. The first year we did it for the Boys and Girls Club. It was the Capitol Street branch, and we brought out close to about 500 people, raised a significant amount of money for them. And, you know, it was something that I decided to do with the help from a few others, like Crystal Frazier. She helped with the planning. DJ D-Lo, Derek Lowe, he assisted me with that as well. And my manager, James Ridgely, they kind of assisted me with that. And it was something that I felt like I needed to do, not like a feeling of guilt or anything, but something because growing up in Jackson, and going through like the Jackson public school systems or like after school programs or just growing up in Jackson as a youth, I mean, it's a lot of charity organizations. I mean, it's a lot of giveaways. It's a lot of different stuff that people have, and it's just my way of giving back to the community. So with the Ball for a Cause series, what we do is any other nonprofit organization in the city, we basically throw a fundraising basketball game, and we had a couple of different entertainment groups come out, like Ace Up Productions. They came out. DJ T. Lewis, Raleigh and T. He had a team. A lot of different people, and it was something that really turned out very, very well, and I'm glad it turned out that good.
Nice, nice. So what other charities have you been involved in?
A couple of different walks, like cancer walks and stuff like that. I plan on doing a lot more this summer. But really we've been focusing on Ball for a Cause because it's something that takes a lot of work. Like when I was getting into it, I had no idea how much it took for charity work, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of time, but I mean the payoff is just mind blowing. Like it's just something that'll make you feel really good for being to be a part of.
Now, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are interested in doing things like that, and you say there's a lot of work to it. Kind of explain a little bit like the process of trying to get that together.
Yeah. Well, first you have to find an organization. Usually you'll have to meet with one of their directors. After you meet with one of their directors, you kind of go from there. If they have a PR person, like any kind of press person, it makes it a lot easier. But we had to do the press ourselves. So me and Ms. Frazier, we would kind of do press releases, and I mean we would spread them out everywhere, just trying to get the word out as far as fundraising goes, trying to get fundraising, and I mean you have to. The staff was about 15 people. We had 2 different DJs, DJ VSOP, my DJ and resident DJ at Nightlife, and DJ Hova. And I mean, they came out, and each team had about 15 players, and we had 8 teams. So you're responsible for all those teams, all those players, the door, everybody that's involved. And it falls directly on you. As in, hey, you're directing this, what to do, when, where, and whenever. And I was hosting the event as well. So it was kind of hectic.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, when we finished and when we were packing up, you know, I thanked everybody, and it felt really, really good that we could give that money to that organization. They needed it. You might know about the situation with the Boys and Girls Club, what's happening with them, but I felt like it was my way of giving back, saying thank you.
I don't. Tell me.
They were having a couple of financial issues, but like I think they're fine now. I'm not completely sure, but when we were wrapping up and everything, and we could give them the check and everything, it just felt like so good.
So when do you have another one planned?
We do. Right now, we're trying to find an organization. We have we have it down to 3, but we're trying to have it sometime in late May. Late May, early June, and it'll be basketball season will just be wrapping up in the NBA, but it's shared basketball. I mean, this year we're doing it bigger and better. We're trying to get a couple of different organizations to come and help us again, and I mean we're trying to have it as a top tier event.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now let's kind of move on to performances. Where have you performed at?
All over the city. Dreams Jackson, the Generation Next concerts. I've performed there about 8 times. Different other events. I opened up for Travis Porter at Freelons about a year back.
How was that?
It went very well, very well. Really cool guys. Talked to them for a couple minutes, like, hey, how you doing? Boom, boom, boom. Went very well, very well. Let me see. Any city you can name, in any club you can name in the city, I've been there. Let me see. Blackstone, which is now Birdland. Floods. Formed at the Ice House twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dvdj Rain. Thanks for that one. Yeah. Went very well there.
You remember that first time you came?
I do, and it was like 1,000 people there, man. Man, and
that look on your face was priceless.
Yeah, man. I was surprised. I was surprised. Lynch Street Festival, done Lynch Street Festival. Not doing it this year. Kind of got some schedule conflicting, but Lynch Street Festival performed there. This year I'm doing the Mississippi State Fair.
Oh, really?
I am, yeah. I mean, we're really doing a lot of stuff here to kind of build a bigger base.
Right.
But we're also spreading out. Got a couple of connects in Starkville, so we're going to start doing a lot of things around Mississippi State very soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're almost going to wrap up, but right now, if you had any words of wisdom or advice to anybody that's doing anything, it doesn't have to be an artist or anything, what would you say to them?
Just don't give up. Don't give up. I mean, like I said before, if you have self-doubt, I mean, it happens. I mean, you're only human.
Right.
But don't give up. Just work hard, because hard work beats talent any day of the week.
Right.
And if you just work at it, work hard, stay humble.
Now, who should someone contact if they need to book you for an event?
You can contact us at my manager, James Ridgely, at ridgely33@gmail.com, or we have another email set up, wewantcasey@gmail.com. You can reach us through Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Theca Jones, ThecaJones. You can reach me there. We have a phone number listed as well on the CDs we're giving out for what they like. And anytime you see what they like out anywhere, it's completely free. It's a promotional mixtape. We give out hundreds. So if you need one, you can hit me up on Twitter. If you see me out, boom, there you go. No charge. If you want to donate, that's fine. But yeah, it's no charge for them. And just watch out for Good Signs. Good Signs should be dropping around. I'm going to give myself a date so I can get it out in July.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, Casey, I appreciate you coming to Theca. I apologize. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Anytime.
Make sure you guys tune in next week for our next guest. Thanks for tuning in to